mustard.
Plenty of mustard.
Change those potatoes to French fried tomatoes and... Oh! One roast lamb!
I want ham.
Wake up, ambitious. There's my pernicious. Marquis Nell.
Here we come, mister. Right on the way. Nice hot roast duck with the gravy just oozing out. Mm.
I have to have love, but when I'm having my love, I have to have boo-boo, ba-doo-be-dow.
Ba-ba-ba-do.
I must have my moment, but when I'm having my moment, I have to have you.
Ba-ba-ba-do-boo.
I'm so blue, waiting for you to come. Oh, I can't go on like this. Give me a kiss and let you. Boo-boo, ba-doo-ba-doo. I want to make whoopee, and if I want to make whoopee, I have to have boo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, boo-boo-ba-doo, whoopee.
Da 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 da. Hey, where's my roast duck? Think I want to starve to death? You better give me something.
Step right this way to our cabaret. Don't wait to be invited. Just check your room. You'll all find room. Come in. Step right this way to our cabaret. Don't wait to be invited. Just check your room. You'll all find room. And a one fish, two fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue
And a
fish.
one fish, two fish.
And a red fish, blue
And a
fish.
one fish, two fish.
All right, that sounds fine. Apparently got YouTube live though. All right, all good, all good. Yo, Atherin, something is amiss. What am I doing today? Why is there a barrel on my screen? Get that over there. You know what? I think I'll try to just texture close. Yo, Charles, good to see you, buddy. I try not to fall asleep. I was nodding off just before stream. Not a good sign. I know how to do this. So let's take a look at. Let's launch that. I'm still working on the nocturne gown. Does that take a shot? I couldn't see. Take a cheap shot. All right. You know, actually, I don't have a cheap shot, so you're going to have to go with the good stuff. And I'm probably going to regret this tonight. Hello, Daz. There we go. Good enough. That there for a second. Let's do this. Yo, DJ Ray in the house. I'm not, I'm just tired. It's not I'm not feeling unwell. I'm just feeling I was nodding off. I woke up this morning and couldn't go back to bed at like 4-7. So anyhow, here we go. Mm. I'm going to be cheap about drinking the cheap shot. We're gonna do this. We're cultured. I'm gonna hold the pinky out. Good stuff. That's right. We're sipping the cheap shot. Right. Let's find something to make in here. I think we're working on textures. Let's bring out the other. Also, I think I want to set the straps up to be a little bit. That's mighty fine sipping whiskey. And this is a coffee and milk. What do you call that? A cafe latte? Except it's room temperature. Ew. What do I need to do with Twilight Teddy? I think Twilight Teddy, I started to doing materials. That's right. It's milk coffee. Coffee milk. Chocolate milk. Well, it doesn't have chocolate, so it's coffee. Take a look at this. You know what? I'm happy with that. I wanted to do some changes. We have this really strappy thing. Then I have the other strappy thing. I think I'm going to do a little bit of work on, and then we'll do some materials. So here's sultry bodysuit. It looks kind of slutty. Where that's for darn tootin'. I think my straps are a little thin on that though, and we get panties that go with it. What I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to dial up the straps on these a little bit, maybe reshape it, and we'll see how that goes. And I don't know if you were here when I thickened up some morphs on things. Did I thicken up the morphs on the panties? I might have to add a morph to that. I did not. The panties need a little thicker morph on those there. Add that. I think I'm going to These straps are just a little thin, especially when I deforce it because I have it set to stretch it a little bit. So I think I'm going to thicken those up. So if we simulate, they get really thin. So let's maybe tweak it just a bit. Let's turn that off. Take a look at over here, actor. Do I have adjustments? And do I have adjust strap thickness? I got the right thing. I got the panty selected. That's my problem. Adjust strap width. There we go. So I think maybe I might make that the default thickness. So we'll export it and then just re-import it as an updated geometry. And then if I simulate that, actually I want that to be a little bit thinner. Let's try this again. Let's dial you back. Let's say maybe 25 on that. And then when we simulate, maybe a little, wee bit. Panties only. No, they don't. That's the only one you need, right? Is that just the on-the-ground morph? Atheron's good to go. All right, we're going to turn that back off. Let's try, if I say 15, if I say 0, that gets us too thin. We take that widthness up to maybe 15, run the sim. I want it to be thin, but I don't want it to be super thin, and I think that's going to do the trick. And did the panty, I didn't see the panty move at all. I'm going to just hide that for a second. I did see the panty move, and those are looking fine. Okay. Cancel that. We're going to bring you back in. Turn that off. So what I'm going to do is run the sim. I think that's going to be fine. I'm going to cancel that. So we're going to turn that off. We're going to export out the suit and then re-import it to update the whatever I just said. The something. The base geometry. That's what we're doing. So I probably have. We're going to switch you back to base resolution. Turn off that smoothing modifier. Going to export this selected object with the export button. I'm going to go to projects. We're going to go to lingerie. I'm going to go to sultry bodysuit. I was actually calling it sultry bodysuit. Wow. Going to bodysuit G8F female. And you know what? We're going to say B2. Save that. Probably good. I don't need the surfaces in here, but it doesn't hurt. Yeah, everybody, check out DJ Ray streaming 5 nights a week, starting at about 10 o'clock Eastern Time. All right, let's reset. Turn that off. Select the bodysuit, reset it, and we'll import the updated. We'll do this. We'll update the base geometry for text position only with whatever it is we were just doing. There we go, sultry bodysuit. I'm totally going to keep calling that slutty bodysuit. Well, maybe not. Well, maybe not if I'm not tired. maybe things will be different. All right, I think I'm good. I'm going to hit accept. Does that say 1,000? I think that says 1,600. I think that says 10,000. I think that's good. Target geometry did not match. I don't know why. I'm going to try this again. I probably had the wrong thing selected when I exported. That would be par for the course. All right, so what did we say? I liked 15. Export that. We're looking at that. 40. That's totally wrong. I may not have had anything selected when I exported it, or I exported the panties. Should be good. Reset the shape, import in, update the geometry. Update the, oh, there it is. Oh, I can't see that thing. What's that? Accept. Should be good. Accept. Target geometry. What do you mean it did not? I just saved you. Did I reset? Boy. All right, let's try this one more time. Nope, wrong button. See, this is what happens when you're tired. You do the same thing 5 times because you keep out leaving one little step out. Updating that is good. Okay, then reset. Do that. Update that. Find the mesh. That's the mesh. That says 73719. That looks about right. Accept that. Accept that. There we go. Straps are now a little bit thicker. So I'm going to simulate. I know it's thin, but it's not as thin as it was. So I like that. So we're going to resave this. We're going to turn that off. I think we're good to go. I may or may not smooth that out. I'm not sure. I was kind of liking the wrinkles when I first did it, but now I'm starting to have my doubts. So here, let's save that as a figure prop asset. We don't lose our work. We got to do this for Genesis 9 as well, but first we're going to do it for Genesis 8. So we're going to update the bodysuit. Say yes to that. Sultry bodysuit. Looks good, looks good. Except that it does its thing. We're going to make a morph for this. I'm going to save this out just because I don't know. I can't remember what I have currently is good or not. So set you back to base. Turn that off. Export that as Pante. I'm going to say V2 on that as well. Should be good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it in the blender and we're just going to make that strap in the top of the top edge of those thicker. And I'm also going to do that with those. So we'll widen. No, actually, I'm just going to widen out that a little bit. Okay. We're going to just do the one strap that goes around the waist first. And then the thong. I'm going to call it widen, adjust strap wider, and then adjust thong wider. Let's do this. All right. Get rid of the default cube. Import what we're working on. Actually, I have to scroll down because I just can't type in letters here and get my directory. Sultry bodysuit, whip, and I am working on this here. Sort by date modified so that the panties come top. zoom in. So we're going to take this top edge and just bring it up. And I think I can just do... These are going to need a little bit of loving. But it's a good start. So we're just going to slide these. Then hold that Alt key down and take it up the other way. No, that's not working. Probably kind of like that. So there's a couple of things we need to fix. We're going to fix that there. And this here. These two, I think we're just going to slide them, kind of like that, to smooth that out. And I just got to fix that little pointy thing in the back. Because I think that just slid off the wrong thing or something. Anyhow, we'll just bring that down so it's kind of like that. And we're going to call that adjust strap width. I think that'll work. I probably should make a more folder at this point. And let's set up a folder in here for anti GH female. And pop into here, and we'll save all the morphs for that one and adjust strap width and export that. Right, and then reset that. And you know what? I'm going to reshape these. I just got weirdly twisted. And I think we can fix that twist or smooth it out or something. Maybe we'll do that. I think I'm just going to rotate that, and we'll do a little bit of a... I don't know, can I just do kind of like a fall off on that? And RY. I don't like that. That's not going to do the trick. I probably need to pop back into Blender. It's probably the first time I've actually looked at the back of this that close. So let's go see if we can clean this up with Marvelous Designer. What I probably ought to do is make a model where the butt crack's a little bit bigger. No, I mean, I could just fix these one at a time. It'll be a little tedious. There's Marvelous Designer. We'll see if I can get it fixed in Marvelous Designer relatively fast. So let's open the project. Should be somewhere in projects. Should have a MD file. Should have had one right about in here. All right, I'm not quite sure where I saved you. Did you get saved in lingerie? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not seeing it. I think I've lost it. Maybe you're over in Nocturne Gown. Nope, I don't see anything saved in Nocturne Gown either. I'm gonna have to track this down and see where they got saved. I'm not seeing Marvelous Designer files for these things. I don't have... Unless... Oh, there they are. Body stocking G8. I choose you, Pikachu. Let's try this. Yeah, so that got twisted. Means is there some way? I'm gonna add a morph that's gonna give me just a little bit more of a gap in there. Let's try that. Let's go back into Blender. See if we can adjust that. So I'm probably not going to need this anymore. File. Actually activate import. Let's go into the G9 folder. See if I've got a. That's spam. All right. What am I looking for? I'm looking for G9 MNMNMM. And let's see if we can maybe just pull these cheeks apart a little bit so I can smooth out, and then maybe we'll smooth out a little bit. Give us just a little bit more room to get that strap through there a little bit better. So I think maybe I'm going to grab that. Maybe we'll grab that. Actually, let's see if I can do this symmetrically. If I can grab that. Actually, I'm going to have issues if I do that. I think we'll just... Let's try it this way. Look, I got the thing on. And you know what? Let's do scale X. Just pull those apart a little bit. Maybe we'll just expand that. Scale X, we'll just pull that apart a little. That's not doing what I want it to do. Maybe I just want to... I got stuff on the center line. I don't want stuff on the center line. You know what? I'm just going to come inside here and take a look. So I'm going to just grab this stuff just off the center line. We'll use some symmetry, see if I can get that to work properly. Just going to do a GX, maybe pull that out a little bit like that. That worked? Yeah, it kind of worked. And you know what? I think I'm going to use a smooth maybe to take that down just a little bit. So let's just pop over to sculpt for a second here. And smooth. And do I have a symmetry on here? I do want to use symmetry just to help. Okay, there we go. We do have symmetry on. I'm going to set the strength of that to be pretty low. And I'm just going to try to maybe just smooth that out a little bit. So it's a little flatter, and I can hopefully get that strap to lie flat. And then maybe I can use this as a morph target on the avatar. We can maybe reshape that to be a little bit better. Either that or I just might redo it. I don't know. We'll see. All I know is the current shape just isn't going to cut it. All right, let's see if we can get this to work a little bit better. I'm going to call it that thong shape. Go there. And Chris can't see Chad anymore because he's got Marvel's Designer in the way now. And what am I going to call you? Thong. Cape for thong. Glutes. Glutes for thong. Spending too much time thinking about this. Use the Daz preset. Export. Let's pop over here in Marvel's Designer and see if this works. I'm going to add a directory that's going to look at that folder. Let's do this. Projects. 9. I think this is good. Let's select that folder, see how this goes. Can I sort this by any sort of, that would be too easy, right? Yeah, I don't get like nice folder operation. What did I call you? I called you Glutes for Thong. There we go. If I double click on you, it says I can bring you in as a morph target. Say okay. Did that work? I think that worked. I'm not sure if that worked. I think it worked, but it's still kind of really twisty in there, isn't it? That's a little bit better. That's a whole lot better, actually. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Yo, Dr. DK in the house, baby. How you doing, Dan? I hope everything's going well for you. Ouch. Here we go. We'll have a little sip of the Irish whiskey in honor of the resub. Thank you, buddy. It is Thursday, you know. This would be a good time to raid Bad Tooth Records tonight. All right, let's you know, when I apply these morph targets, though, they're going to change the shape of this, so I need more morph targets. Damn it. Damn it. Hey, Janet. Yeah, let's do that. Let's import in that. I'm going to just make a smooth thong target for that. You know what? I think what we're going to do is we're just going to pull those apart a little bit. So let's tab over here. Just kind of maybe pull that through there, back through here, back through here, and symmetry is turned off. Just pull that apart a little bit like that. That's an interesting piece. It is. Let's come over here. So we're just gonna do the same thing we were doing before, just kind of smooth that. Why are you? Do I not have the symmetry on anymore? Do. Can't see what I'm doing. So is that bending weird? That's actually a little bit better. I'm still going to pull those out. Pull those off to the sides just a little bit more. I have to get it fit through the crack a little nicer. So that's the weirdness that's going on right now. So let's see how we can save that as a morph target. F6. Nope, that's F6. Yeah, F6. Glutes for thong G9. Base. Do that. So I got to apply a couple of morph targets to this. Come over here. G9 avatars. Looking for that one right there. Right click and add to workspace and load as a morph target. Say okay. I'm going to go take a look at how that's. Yeah, that's getting a little twisted. So we're going to apply that little wider gap to help flatten that out a little bit. Back over to here. We are looking for that glute. Am I in the right folder? I'm in the right folder now. Glutes for thong G9 base. We're going to do that. Add to workspace. As a morph target. Say okay. And you probably didn't even notice it, but I think that's going to be good. All right, so we're going to re-export the panties out and see how that turns out. How do I want to do this? How do I do this again? Export. OBJ selected. I'm going to. Where am I? I'm totally lost. I'm totally in the wrong folder because this is Marvelous Designer. At least I can type in LI and find the right folder. Sultry Bodysuit is what this is. Whip. I'm going to overwrite this. This is going to become Pante. Pante P3. There we go. Save that. We're going to come back to this. We're going to go back to the. We're going to go back to the base. Right here. I think I'm in the right one. Needs a Jameson. There's a little. I need a Jameson folder. What would the Jameson look outfit look like? All right. Now we're going to morph this to the Genesis 8 female shape right there. As a morph target. Say okay to that. I think that's going to need a little bit of a gap back there. Yeah, so we're going to add a little bit of a, need a little glute adjustment for that one as well. So we're going to get a Genesis 8 female shape in here. And I'm just going to smooth that out a little bit. Right there. Are you the right shape? Oh, it said no. It laughed at me. Am I in the right folder? I am in the right folder. Why did you know what? That might work. We're just going to kind of do the same thing. Pull those apart a little bit, flatten it out a little bit. Am I in edit mode? I am not in edit mode. I am now in edit mode. I'm not mirroring. Okay, let's try that again. So pull that out just a bit like that. Then we're just going to pop over here to sculpty mode. Just kind of flatten that out a little bit like that. I'm just going to export this as flutes for thong or something like that. 6. Come over here. Flutes for thong, G8F. Actually, I'm going to save you over here for right now. But I'm going to label it so I can spot it later. G8 female. And everything else should be fine. And we can come over here and reload that as a morph target. That one right there. Actually, let's watch the bum while we do this. Okay, I'm gonna put you right there. I'm gonna say as a morph target, and I'm gonna say okay. And incompatible with current avatar. Damn it! You're right. You are incompatible with the current avatar. All right. Let's try this. Yo, it's Art in the house, baby. You know what? Let's just load you in as an avatar and try to just refit that. See how that goes. I've got another idea, but let's try this first. This is probably a bad idea. That was totally a bad idea. Okay, we're not going to do that. Can I just reload my import add obj to garment. Nope. Recent. Let's do recent. Let's come back to this. Okay, this shape is just the wrong geometry. We'll get one that's got the right geometry. I think here it is, a G8 fit. Double checking. I think my G8 fit. Where is the actually where are you? You're in I have to go find this thing. I think you're in H drive. I moved my objects. Are you in there? Nope, you're not in there. Do I have an object folder there? Nope. Did I move my objects there? Nope. Did my objects end up over here? I'm not seeing them. Oh, dang it. What happened to my... I'm in Blender. That's my problem. Damn it. Hey, Marvel's Designer. Where is this located? This one right here. Where are you? Show and Explore. There we go. You are located on the M drive in a folder called Objects, in a folder called Marvelous Designer, in a folder called Genesis. Okay, so we're going over to the M drive. Over on the M drive, I am looking for objects. Am I not seeing objects in here? There it is. It's right there. You're not in alphabetical order. That doesn't help things. There's a folder called Marvelous Designer in here. Marvelous Designer. I have it twice because one of these isn't spelled right. Marvel. See, that's Marvelous Designer. This is Marvelous Designer. D9 Avatar. 9 Avatar. I choose you, Pikachu. I think that's the right one. Yep, that's the right one. Let's pop in here. Let's smooth that one out. And I should be able to kind of take that symmetry, widen that out a little bit. You know, that symmetry did do something. There we go. Do that. Now let's switch back over to sculpting. And we still got the smoothing on. Gonna kind of smooth that peak down just a little bit. Probably good. Let's see how this works out. Said smoothing it again. Pop over here, object mode, export, boots for thong. I think this should work. Yeah, I'm going to save that right there. Back in Marvelous Designer. Let's see if we get this to work now. Back over to here. Boots for thong, G8 female. Let's try this shape. Load that in as a morph target. Then I'm going to see if I can get this. It's not quite laying flat just yet. So let's see if we can adjust, tweak that. Still getting twisty in here, isn't it? That's what we want. There we go. That looks much better. All right, let's export that out and see how it works. Let's see if I can just update my geometry with this. File, export, OBJ selected. Totally in the wrong place. Try this one. And let's try panty. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and overwrite that. Say okay to that. Let's put you over here. Let's come back over to here. Let's see if we can make that look nicer. We're going to select the panty and let's see if we can just update the geometry on that. I got Blender a little bit in the way. So activate the update. We were just doing this from file. So let's go get the file. There we go. We're going to tweak that. Say okay, accept. Okay, I have to scale this to be 106 to 9.9. Accept that. I think that worked. See, that works. Okay, we're good. So now we're going to. Did I break all my morphs? I did not break my morphs. Yay! So it's still mostly morph like it's supposed to. Excellent. All right, back to making the straps wider. So I don't need you anymore. Thank you for your service. Let's import back to here. So we're looking for that right there. Blam. Zoom in. Let's tab in. So we're going to do this again. So we're going to slide all of these to make it thicker. I got a couple of points that need a little bit more fixing. So that's going to come in like that. We're just going to slide that up like that, and then I got to do the same thing over here. Slide, slide. Now we got that little peaky point back here that we need to fix. That, all right, so that's going to be the adjust straps. Adjust strap width. And we'll just pop back over into here. Nope, I think I'm done with you. And we're just gonna apply the morph target onto here. Activate the morph, use the pet morph. Over to here where we saved everything. Sultry bodysuit, whip, morphs, ante, just strap with, open, accept. I think that worked. It did not work. Is the scaling off? The scaling is probably off. I can almost bet you the scaling off. It's going to get weird, isn't it? Yep. All right, we can do this, but we'll fix the scaling. Oops, damn it. I don't want to fix the scaling. We're just going to re-export it out of here. So I don't need that. But you saw how fast that went, so it's not like I'm going to cry too much tonight. General mesh resolution. Do you have a high resolution? You do, but we're working on base. And I probably have to redo the mesh smoothing. Anyhow, let's export you back over that. Did I not just do this? I get the feeling it already exists. You want to replace it? Yes. Should be good. Accept. Import. Should be the good file now. Should be fine. Good. We'll come over here and tweak these corners. Here we go. There she goes. Boink. Should be fine. There we go. There, we can make that strap thicker. Now I'm going to just make the thong have a little thickening morph on it as well. So let's put all of that back to where it was. There we go. And I think we're going to do this in halves. Actually, I might just X. You know what? I think we're just going to scale these on the X-axis just to be wider. And then I'm just going to try to make some adjustments here and here after we do that. Basically, scale X. And I'm going to kind of I'm going to turn that off all the way down. I'm going to manually adjust those. And then we're just going to come up here and just slide that out, line it up a little better. Should be fine. You know, I'm going to adjust that. And Same thing here. We're just going to pull those out a little bit. Move it out. Should be good. I'm going to just call that thong wider. It's a little wider. Yo, it's Rod Shelley. Wait the export. Adjust thong width. I could say floss, but I'm going to say thong. Thong sounds a little better. I think we're good to go. Point. All right, let's add that in here. That was the wrong thing. I keep hitting the wrong button here. Oh, yeah, you're right. I do have the best viewers. Thank you so much. Fortunately, your time with us is short. They're stalking Rod. That's what it is. Thank you, Charles. Or Snappy Rant. Cut down in its prime. Actually, it didn't even get close to its prime. Cut down way before its prime. It was just a wee little infant bot taken down before it could even learn to walk. Here we go. We're going to adjust our thong width. And we're going to just check that out. Looks fine. I'm happy with that. Okay. All right. I'm happy with these. We're going to do this for Genesis 9 now that I know what I'm doing. We're going to do a little bit of morph organization over here. So we're going to go into edit mode. I'm going to change the colors of these. Actually, let's move them over to our adjustment group first. Accept that, and let's come over here to our adjustment. These things all need a bunch of cleanup, and that needs to be renamed and moved. Do I have two of these? I do. Okay, what do you do? Are you an inflate? I'm going to call that one inflate. What the hell happened? There we go. That's better. I had something dialed in. So this dial, we'll do this on the inside here. While you inflate, maybe not so many O's. And you go into the adjustment category because that's what I'm doing with these. Come over here to adjustment. We're going to change the color of all of these. Some of them are already the right color, but I'm just going to grab them all. And for adjustments, I like that green and black. Go with that. Done that. Let's come over here. Let's set our limits for everything. So we'll enable limits on everything. Okay. A bunch of this is leftover Genesis 9 stuff. We'll get rid of that. All right. We need to clean up some of these names. Body underscore BS underscore expand all is a garbage name. Just going to call it expand all. And then these is going to be loosen buttocks. Going to be loosen thighs. And weight lower. And then loosen waist upper. I think we're good with these. And then I'm going to resave this out. I don't think I've got any textures for these yet, although I may have a displacement map. Let's take a look. I think I have to save. Let's go ahead and save these just in case. Nothing quite like thinking you have things saved only to find out you didn't. Makes you cry later on. Why do I still have an adjustments category in here though? What were you? All right, let's try that again. I have the panty selected. I do have the panty selected. Base. Adjustments. What is in here? Bodybuilder and fitness. You know what? I don't think I need to save those. Hey, Chris, did you see you sat story on Discord? I did not. I'm sorry. I will check it out for sure, man. It's a tale of woe, I take it. You know who I'm blaming. I think, I think, am I good for right now? I think I'm good for right now. I'm good. No, wait, I gotta save this. And we're gonna overwrite that panty there. Say yes to that. And I want to see if I've got anything in a texture folder for any stuff here. We might get around to starting some textures on these. Where did it go? Where did it go? It's in projects. It's in lingerie. It's in sultry bodysuit. It's in runtime textures. Me, sultry bodysuit. All I have is a displacement map. Okay. Big bull bleep bill. All right, so I think I'm good with this for right now. We'll just double check real quick. So bodysuit looks kind of like that. Yeah, there's my change, the slightly thicker straps. And our pante. And adjust strap width. There we go. And our adjust thong width is right there. Yay. Okay, now I'm going to do similar changes that we did here to the Genesis, to this one. So we're going to update that panty geometry. We're going to tweak the bodysuit geometry. Then we're going to add, make the straps and the thong a little bit thicker. Then we're going to see about making a texture for this thing. At least starting something. I totally feel this should be latex. I'm not sure. Or maybe something shiny too. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so let's come over here to the Genesis 9 versions. That there. So I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to make these straps a little bit thicker. I'm going to update this with the. Let's see how that's. So let's start with this. Just making these straps a little thicker. We do have a morph for that, so we're going to dial that in just a little bit, and then update the base to be a little bit thicker. I want to select you and come over here. I am looking for. When I have an adjust straps thicker in here. I could have sworn I did. Did I never do that? I may not have done that. I might be able to just steal it from the Genesis the Genesis 8 version. I'm not seeing adjust strap wider in here. All right, let's see if I can be clever and steal this from the other version. So let's try this. Let me try and import the morph target and see if I've got a there's an adjust strap width. There's a suspiciously. Let's try that. I'm going to open that as a morph target. And when we come over here, if I dial that in, ooh, that looks about right. Okay, I think we're good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop over here and bring that in. Should be good. Now, I'm going to get rid of this. I only needed that to bring in this morph. Hey, I think that looks fine. Yeah, how are you looking on the cheeks? You know what? That transferred over well. Okay. So I don't actually need this. I only needed that to bring in the morph target shape that I really wanted. We're still in edit mode, so I can delete that out. Set you back to 0. Now what we were doing is we were setting that to like 15%. I'm just going to run a sim. And I'm liking the way that looks. So we're going to turn that off. I think what we're going to do is we're now going to export this again. But let's make sure we do it at base resolution and no mesh smoothing on. Export that. Bodysuit G9V2. They accept that. Okay, now I'm just going to reset that, and then we're going to update this shape with that slightly adjusted thicker strap shape. So update vertex positions from file. Grab that V2. Open, accept. That right there so we can kind of see if that changes. Accept. Ooh, that totally went. Oh, I know what happened. I still have the wrong import scaling on there, so we're going to do this again. We brought in a version for Genesis 8 that was scaled a little differently. Oops. Dang it. Did I do that right? Did that right. I hit accept. Right here. I forgot to set that back to 10,000. There we go. Should be fine. Run the sim. Kind of what I wanted it to look like. All right. Stop that. That off. I'm going to just save this back out. So do that. Those are the Genesis 8 ones, so let's not overwrite that. I'm over here for Genesis 9. This is the bodysuit. Is this would I like to replace it? Yes, please. Just double checking that says, I think this is all good. Except that. And now we're going to update this to flatten that strap out in the back. Select that. Let's update that geometry with, I want to sort by date here. That one right there is the one that we may have fixed it a little bit on. I think let's take a look at that in Blender before I get too far on this. That one right there. Yeah, that's gonna work. Okay. And accept that. It changed its shape a little bit. I think that's a little bit better. Should be fine. I might have to tweak it just a little bit in Blender at some point, but I think for right now, we're probably good. So let's add in. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make this strap thicker and make the thong thicker. Make it worse for that. And just do this. That way. Oops, that wasn't a GG. So GG is slide. I've just got to fix that. Excellent. I'm going to say adjust strap width, but I'm going to move this into a folder over here. And export that right there. Then we're just going to put these all back where they came from, and then we're just going to work on the Unksky. Go from here to about here. I want to pick up that point right there. We're just going to scale on the X. So that's not quite working. So I'm just going to pull, instead of scaling, I'm just going to pull these, the GX, pull that out a little bit like that. That out like so. Maybe do this one again. Okay, and then we're just going to tweak this a hair. And you know, down here, I think looking, now I can use a little bit of it's probably fine. Export that. Just width. Should be good. All right, let's pop back over into Daz Studio. I got the panty selected. Let's load in these morph targets. I'm sorry, targets. And should be good. And we'll just double check. Strap width looks fine. Long width, little bit thicker. Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. Oh, no, now we're just going to adjust, rearrange the way these dials are all set up. Set you to property group. Let's move you to actor adjustment. Up to that. Come over here to actor adjustment, and we'll just first things first. We'll just select all of this and enable the limits. And I'm just going to recolor all of these to the green and black. I'm going to set the presentation on those. Green. Color B is black. Say okay, looking good. Now we're going to clean up these names here, the ones with the garbage in them. Just strap. What am I? Why am I clicking on that? I'm gonna click on this one over here. Loosen buttocks. Loosen thighs. Loosen waist lower. Loosen waist upper. All right. Those are good. Let's save these out. I'm going to do it twice just to make sure I don't inadvertently not save them. Should be fine. Up to that. All right, then we're just going to save as figure prop asset. Sometimes when I do that, some of these morphs get lost. I have had, well, that's the reason why I do the double save. It just kind of ensures. There we go. Select that. It says G9. It does say G9. I'm going to overwrite that. That says the same thing. And I think we're ready to maybe try to set up some textures for this. We got like 40 minutes before I'm going to call it a day. And we go over and say hi to Dan again. Okay, we're done with you. Thank you. All right, let's set up some ID files. First things first, I'm going to just delete all of this. Come over here. Come into here. Gonna load that in. Make sure it's not selected. Load that in. I'm gonna move you out over here. If I can select you. And then we're just gonna set up the surface colors on these. We're gonna do a couple of things. We are looking at, we're gonna set the resolution to base for both of those. We're looking at enable smoothing. We're going to turn that off. Now we're going to come over here to surfaces and these, and then we're going to give each one of these a unique color. So do I have a generic? I do. Yay. Daz PAs get a utility that kind of gets colors, but it doesn't have enough, so I just manually do it. It's the sort of thing that the time it takes me to find the script that runs this, I'm already done. Okay, we're going to export this twice for Substance Painter. I'm going to get a little bit of weird ambient occlusion in here, I think. I'm almost tempted to break that apart in a Blender just so that I don't get really bad ambient occlusion in there. I think we're going to do that. We're going to pop this over to Blender, and what I'm going to do is probably split right there so we can move the stockings apart. So let's export. Let's export all of this together. And then also I'm going to use the same object later on for making material files. Okay, looks good. Activate the export. We are looking for, hey, I got a substance folder. You know, I have done these. You know, I have a surface. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'm already good. Maybe I don't need to do this. It's been so long since I've looked at this. I forgot that I have substance file. I did the displacement maps. Right. Now I'm remembering. It was a few weeks ago. I don't even remember what the last thing I said. Oh yeah, Rockabilly Swing. There we go. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the outfits I just uploaded to Daz. Sad. File and projects. Lingerie. Sultry bodysuit. Whip. Substance. Bodysuit. There we go. I can cancel you. I didn't need to do any of what I just did here. Oh, that's the Genesis 8 version. It's got a little more gap in there. Did I already set up my files? I think I did. I think I did. I'm not seeing anything. Did I bake my materials? I may not have baked anything in here. I baked my ID map. I don't know. Let's rebake. Bake and bake. Do like that. That. Probably fine. I think we're good. I am seeing a little bit of ambient occlusion right there. All right. Let's come over here and figure out what we want to do with this now. Bump, 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 bump. Material. There we are. Yeah, I guess we'll do vinyl and a silk and maybe a metallic. I want to do one of the metallic leathers. Just a metallic. Thinking the metallic leathers are kind of cool. Oh, that grinded. Let's see what do you look like? Yeah, I'm not liking you. So metal polished. Maybe metallic car paint might be cool. Here is metallized lambskin. Okay, that I'm just going to tweak. So maybe this or maybe the metallic. You know what? I'm just leaning toward today. I'm just leaning towards this really high gloss metal look. Make it almost super sci-fi, robotic. I'm gonna see if I have any cool sci-fi robotics that maybe we can just throw on there. But for this, I know I want to tile it up. It's gonna look kind of like that if I use this metallized leather. Is good. Maybe something like that. But close that. Go get my silks out. Silk. Try that. I'm not seeing my normal map. There's my normal map. I think we're going to just tile that a little bit. I might actually do this twice. And I'm not going to use the color on that. You know, I think, well, I'm going to do another one, but I think I'm just going to use this for the color. I'm going to use this for the weave texture. And then this is like this wrinkle texture in here. I'll use this one for the wrinkles. This way I can kind of dial each one in as I need it. So the wrinkles, I'm just going to need the normal map, maybe the height map. I think, is there a smoothness in here that controls? If I do that, oh, kind of does that. I might dial it back just a bit like that. It's a little strong. I think it won't be quite that strong over in the Daz. Then this one here, I'm going to use that, make this weave pattern smaller, and we can just dial back the wrinkles on that. So I don't need those. This is just for the height and the normal map. And we're just going to take that, dial that back like that. And I could just adjust this tiling. That didn't seem to make a difference to this. Why you no change? The hell? Seriously. Why is it I change that and that pattern stays the same? That just doesn't seem fair. Or are you coming from something else? You are not. You're coming from... You're in the color map. Got it. All right. So I don't even need this. I don't need the height map on that. It's the color map. I'm just going to dial that up a bit. Make that color map pattern smaller. I think I'm going to be good. Well, you know what? I do want to redo this because my strap's a little bit thicker. So here, let's re-export and re-update. Bum, bum, bum. This is the Genesis 8 version, so we're going to re-export the Genesis 8 version out, I think. We'll do that. So over here, I'm just going to get rid of you guys. Get that in here. Get that in here. Cancel that. Damn it. I accidentally had this bodysuit selected when I'm loading that in, so it's trying to fit it to it. But I don't want to fit it to it. I want you over here. All right, now we're just going to get these colors set up and export that out again. I don't have both of them selected. Let's try this again. That's better. Over here to my generic shaders. Let's get these colors in here. Okay. Into here, we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We are looking for high resolution. Reset that to base. Enable smoothing. Turn that off. Now we're ready to export. I'm going to overwrite that one there. Surfaces. Going to, that's an import. That's my export. Write this one with no materials. So turn that off. Back over here, we're going to update this with what we just saved. Project configuration, select. Whip substance. Use this one here. Then we're just going to rebake everything. Oh, I got to take a look at this. You know, that's looking. I'm getting some weird selections. Like it showed up with the groups. We come back over to here. Well, I got to bake this ID map. You're not doing anything? Oh, sorry. I had the wrong. Ah. All right, I see colors. Looking good. ID map. Bake that. That looks like it came out fine. Painting. Probably okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be okay. And there we go. You can see I got the slightly thicker straps now, so that'll give me the better textures I was looking for. So these are the silks. Don't need that one there, because that weave ended up actually being in the color map. So check that. Height and normals are there. Color, roughness, and metallicity are in this one here. Let's just group those together and call it silk. I'm going to just tweak that color to, I don't know. Somewhere on in there, kind of rose gold. So I think I am going to go with this silk, and let's go get a vinyl. Last vinyl. I think that's got a little bit of a bump in it, though. Sci-fi smooth vinyl. Let's take a look at that. Turn silk off. Zoom in a little bit. You know what? That's got kind of a nice. I think I want to probably up the roughness in that. What are you? You're in that sci-fi vinyl channel. I'm not seeing it. Okay. Scratch roughness, scratch density. My roughness is 0. That does not, totally does not. Well, because the metallicity, so take that metallicity up a little bit, maybe. I'm just kind of annoyed about what. Is that a scratch? Do I have a scratch scale? Yeah, those are just scratches. Probably fine. You know what? I've got this weird seam. Is that showing up over here? Is that going to show up in any of my maps? That's the important thing. I don't see it in color. I don't see it in roughness. Not my metallicity. I don't have a normal map on here. Let's that do anything? No, that doesn't look like it's showing anything. Let's take a look at our height map on that. Not really. I'm pretty sure there's a height map. I'm just not seeing it. What the F? You woke up a co-pilot page. Guess they thought you died. Autopilot on me. No, they're just trying to take over. I think that's going to be fine for the vinyl. I don't know. Let's try one of the other vinyl options here. We have vinyl heavy. I want to tweak my mesh just a little bit. This has got some weird. We're going to pop this in the blender really quick, put a smooth on it, and then bring it back out. See, I think I might have saved groups or something goofy. That's just bothering me. So we'll try to update that again. In here. And I'm going to do this one here. And we're just going to shade smooth. And I think I'm just going to resave this. Re-export back to here. I'm going to overwrite that. I got materials checked. Export. Do it again. This time we're going to do this version. Okay, hit the wrong button. Do this version with no materials and export that. Back over to substance. Edit project configuration. Select that. There we go. That's what I want. All right, now we're checking out the other vinyl. You know what? I kind of like that. Maybe a little shinier, though. Am I getting a strange color in here? That might be okay. Let's see what our... I don't have any options to change that color, though. How annoying. I mean, I can tint it. And I don't have any options to change, like, the roughness and things. So we're probably not going to use that one. Hey, thank you, Art. Let's try the glossy vinyl. Glossy vinyl's got this weird texture in it, though. I think we're going to see if we can track that down and kill it. I mean, remove it. You know, that, now you can see it really clearly there. Activate the normal map. I want to take a look at normal. All right. It does actually have a normal map. Excellent. Fold intensity. Does that go away? Nope. Pattern intensity. There we go. That gets rid of that pattern. Actually, let's let's. Nah, I don't like that pattern. Although, you know, what if we... That kind of gives me, and I'm being so subtle, I might not even notice this in Daz. It gives me just a little bit of texture in there. Still looks pretty smooth. I think I'm going to go with that as our vinyl option. Now it's just a matter of, and do I want to do any weird patterns? So these two we don't need. I'm going to keep that silk. You know what? I'm going to not use those metallics, and we're just going to use this metallic here. And psi. So I'm just going to play with, we're just going to drop some cry textures on here and see if there's anything that looks nice. And if there is, what I might do is use like a vinyl trim. Retro. Oh well.